What's going on, guys? My name is Alexis Teran. I'm the CEO of Recruiting with Systems. I help home service CEOs build and scale their sales team by implementing a recruitment system slash recruitment funnel. If you've been wasting money on job boards and bad hires, you've come to the right place. Let's dive in. All right, so this video, I'm going to explain how we get our bang for our buck when it comes to interviewing and getting a bunch of applicants into our funnel. So, long story I'm explaining two ways. In a short version and a long version. So, in a short version is we essentially just do group interviews. Um, I'm sure you're probably listening like, "Oh wow, revolutionary idea." just listen to me real quick. So we do group interviews, and the reason why we do group interviews, and believe it or not, as like simple and like basic as it may seem, a lot of clients that I work with don't do group interviews. They do one by one interviews. This is the problem with that, right? One, you're wasting a lot of time. Doing one-on-one interviews with a ton of people who probably are not even going to join your company is just a huge waste of time. Not only that, it's a waste of energy. You know, I don't know about you guys, but when I do interviews back to back to back to back to back, I usually get tired by the end of the day. So that's one. Two, it's a huge waste of money because the longer it takes for you to hire someone, the more that your ads are running and the clock is ticking and you're just spending money on money on money on money on money. Now, granted, some of you guys are probably gonna be spending 10, 20 bucks a day, but I know a lot of guys who spend about 100, 150 bucks a day. So time is money, and the longer it takes for you to bring someone on board, the more money you're gonna be spending on these job boards. So that's two. Three, it's just not an efficient way to scale a company, and you limit the effectiveness of you limit the effectiveness. How much time do I got on this? You limit the effectiveness of what your office staff admin recruiter can do, right? So just think about it. It's common sense, right? If you're doing one interview and you're interviewing 10 people and you're doing a one by one, let's say each interview takes about 30 minutes, that's 5 hours of your time. But if you interview 10 people at the same time, you get it all done in 30 minutes. And quickly you can weed out who's who, what's what, and who can really work for your company. Now you may think, well, damn, how do these group interviews work? Does that mean that people hop on these group calls and I just ask them questions and answer a bunch of questions? No, that's also another inefficient way to do it. The way that we structure all our clients is we structure the group call as more so of a presentation. You're not going there asking a bunch of questions. If anything, you're going over there and you're letting them know what this is, what this can be, the opportunity, the role, the day to day. And then from there, you weed out who's a good fit and who's not a good fit, right? So let's say 10 people get on a call. Out of those 10 people, you can probably see, because mind you, it's a Zoom call. That's very important. Zoom call, and everyone has to be on Zoom. And the reason why everyone has to be on Zoom is because you can tell just by watching them who's really interested and who's really not. And out of those 10 people, let's say maybe about 4 or 5 of them are genuinely interested. Out of those 4 or 5 that are interested, maybe 3 of them are good fits. And those are the 3 that you push to a one-on-one interview. Everyone else, you just say, all right, thank you guys for your time. We'll be reaching out. And then later send them a, hey, this is not a good fit for you. So you just cut your time expenditure by 60-70%. So if you line up, let's just say for the sake of, you know, shits and giggles, you line up group calls every single day, and on average you get 10 people. From those 10, remember we did the numbers, from those 10, 3 of them are going to be good people you interview. In 1 week span, you have 15 qualified candidates who are solid that you can push through. And if you have your proper one-on-one and onboarding system dialed in, those 15 people, right? Because if you're doing 10 interviews, you got 10 people, and out of those 10, 3 of them are good. 3 times 5 is 15. If you have your onboarding and your one-on-one process dialed in, those 15, you can onboard and start 7 of them the next week, right? So it just speeds up the whole process. Now, as far as the way the group interview is structured, we have a template that we give all of our clients on like how this works, how you should properly present, and we kind of guide them through, just because at the end of the day, you know, you presenting your company on a group call, it's you're essentially you're selling, but you're not selling one-on-one, you're selling one to many. So you have to properly present it. You have to paint the picture. You have to let them know what this is, what this can turn out. And a lot of company owners don't really know what they're doing. And that's something else that I've realized just working with a ton of them is just like, hey, you don't even really know how to pitch your company, which is insane to me because it's like, dude, this is your company. You should know, like, you should know how to break this down. You know, you would think everyone, if it's your company, you have an elevator pitch or whatever, but they don't. They're just kind of like whatever, you know. So that's always been interesting to see. So we do help our guys present, and the way that we structure the presentation, it's pretty much just, I'm gonna break it down a little bit more in depth in another video, but the way we break it, the way we structure this presentation is kind of more so like a soft sell, soft pitch, soft filter. And by the end of 30 to 40 minutes, we can kind of see, like, just by looking at them, who's really interested. But yeah, so that's the reason why we do group calls. Is just much more efficient, much more cost effective, and it just helps expedite the process. You know, like, we don't, this is door to door, or this is sales, even sales, right? We don't want to waste time. You know, a good sales rep is hot potato. You know, they're probably gonna get picked up by someone pretty quickly, so you want to hop on it as soon as you can. Now, one thing I do want to touch on is a lot of guys say, and I had this issue in the beginning. At first I was like, damn, experienced sales guys, they're not gonna hop on group calls. But they are. If you properly present it, they will hop on group calls. And I know that because we're currently doing that now for one of these roofing companies that I'm working with, who are only hiring experienced guys. And so all we're getting is experienced guys with 10, 15, 20 years under their belt, and they're getting on these group calls. But we changed our pitch. We're not talking to them like kids. We're talking to them like guys who know what the business is. We're talking to them like $1 million producers, you know? So experienced guys, rookies, novices, everyone gets on a group call if you properly frame it, properly present it, properly structure it. It's just up to you to do that. And again, that's something that we help out all our clients with. So if you guys need help, feel free to click the link below, check out the website, book a call. But that is why we present in a group call format. We try not to waste time. We try to keep this as effective as possible, and we try to push as fast as possible. So thank you guys for tuning in. See you in the next video. Let's try recruiting with systems, and be checking you out.